Welcome to CLIC Connect. I'm your host, Craig Sullivan. And today, our returning champion, Mr. Bruce Ford from Lodging Econometrics. Nobody's been on the show more than Bruce. Hi, Bruce. How are you?
Well, Craig, I heard that you like to talk to me, but can we confirm that now, or can we get over the hump?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Are we in a relationship, Craig?
Brother, we have been for many years. So, yeah, it's great to talk to you, and I can confirm that right here and now.
Fair enough. Neither of us are in Atlanta today.
That's right. Yeah.
But I heard half the industry is. So, it's all good, sir. Good to see you.
Yeah. Good seeing you. Yeah, I heard that there was a great turnout at the Hunter Conference. Congratulations to them. Our other friend, Mr. Glenn Hausman, seems to be enjoying himself down there as well. So that's all good for the industry and for him certainly as well.
Yeah, how about that hair? I mean,
yeah.
How about that hair?
Yeah, I think he's got a humidity frizz. Yeah. So I don't know if I've coined a new term, but it's a little different.
Much of what they're all
sorry, Glenn.
Much of what they're all talking about down there, Craig, is the change in prices for products and the change in the construction costs and some of the things that are happening around trying to build a new hotel versus renovating and converting one.
Right.
And it's really a market shift that we're seeing right now. And that market shift is leading owners to consider the reinvestment in their property here throughout 2021. And I had and have been predicting that 2021 would be a great year for renovations and a great year for brand conversions. And I'm expecting that 2022 will also be very good, but potentially even lasting into 2023. And what we're talking about here is maybe as many as 350,000 rooms of renovation and conversion annually, really kind of through 2023. And the big takeaway with that is an owner traditionally, going up the cycle as we were pre-pandemic, would be very focused on, what's coming that's new, because that, provides the most, hindrance to your operating performance at an existing hotel. But now we have to look much further than that, Craig, because market dynamics change through conversions and renovations as well.
Absolutely. And, that's going to be one of the two subjects that we're talking about today with Bruce. Now, Bruce, you and I have been saying people are getting ready to get ready. What's going on with renovations and PIPs? Because it seems like that number has exploded. Am I right on that?
Well, you're right on that. We've been reporting over or just around 200,000 rooms active in the system for the past couple of quarters. So to give everybody a feel, in the best years of new hotel openings moving up the cycle, we were doing about 110, maybe 115,000 new hotel rooms a year. And we're talking about a conversion renovation opportunity that may be 3 times that on an annual basis each of the next couple of years. So if you're a supplier, those owners are looking at reinvestment of their properties as a primary way to get good return on their investment. And those owners are seeing the opportunity there because they can, quote, escape some of that raw material problems that you might run into with new construction pricing. Right now, they can kind of avoid that or skirt that issue for the time being. But also, new construction money is available, but a little bit tighter than, say, conversions and renovation money. And of course, we all, want to stay in the cleanest, safest, most renovated hotel. That's what we're going to be looking for, in addition to the experience type lodging. So I think the time seems to be here, Craig. This summer and through the fall and even over the winter, I think we're really going to see quite a surge of renovations. And the particular ones that are happening right now are those places that saw, quite a bit of demand during the winter time. And we'll think beach locations, think
Right.
resort locations where they can take this kind of, as we would call it in New England, mud season, and take that time to, put some renovation dollars into the hotel, spruce it up for the summertime, because
Yeah.
we are truly forecasting unprecedented leisure demand this summer for hotel rooms. And because, at the end of the day, we've all been locked at home for 15 months during the pandemic, and at the top of many people's list will be taking that first vacation when they feel safe to do so. So that'll be a big part of what we're talking about for lodging demand going forward. So any dollars you can spend in the hotel to create an environment to keep your rate up, to be
Yeah.
preferred over your local competitor, I think is only a wise investment right now, because it seems like the return of lodging demand is here.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And, you and I've talked, throughout this whole thing almost on a daily basis. And, we've both been saying that all roads to a financial recovery lead through vaccination, hotels, travel, and tourism.
Yep.
Whether you are relocating your family or you're relocating your family in a business, it starts with you getting in your car, getting in an airplane, staying at a hotel, doing your due diligence in an area. So, doesn't surprise me that we've got this robust number right now with renovations and PIPs, and we're what, at 300,000 keys, you were saying, nationally?
That's what we're anticipating from a completion standpoint this year. Might be might be up to 350. But the point in time that I report today, which you'll see here during the broadcast, is we're showing 190,000 rooms currently active in the system right now. Renovations and conversions can happen very quickly. They can be announced within 60 days be complete in some cases. So we have to aggregate, and when we aggregate, we're anticipating some 350,000 rooms under renovation annually. And what's interesting is, Craig, I did an analysis for the quarter close where I talked about, what markets and who was seeing the kind of activity. And one of the things that was really interesting when you looked at Los Angeles, there's going to be 2,900 new hotel rooms that will open in the LA market this year, but 2,800 rooms will open of conversion and renovation this year also in Los Angeles market. So you really do have to evaluate both, because they both mean things to your operating performance at your hotel.
Absolutely. Now, I know you've got your finger on the pulse with the brands, and kudos to you and the team at LE. Our friend Eric Jacobs gave you a shout out from the stage at the Hunter Conference.
I am not going to complain about that.
Not at all. Not at all. So that should tell everybody out there how valuable your information and data is right there. But, that conversion, I know that all the brand people have been telling me that's a big part of what their book of business is going to be for at least the next 2 years. So what do you see? I mean, typically, we're the ones that are in the dumpster fire first, okay? We crash and burn before everybody else. We're the canary in the coal mine, whatever metaphor you want to use. But we're also the first one to come back.
Very true.
So what are you seeing out there for conversions and construction on that side of the field? Is this going to be more urban core? Is it going to be part of the, these huge boxes attached to convention centers? Is it a mixed bag of everything?
A couple of trends, I think. The first trend is that viable independent locations or unbranded locations may be seeking a brand in the pandemic for some recovery certainty. Okay, I think in some cases, when times are good, all boats rise in the river, and unbranded hotels or independent hotels can carve a niche, and in many cases be successful on an upcycle. But when we have a down cycle, they typically suffer. And so I think some of them are certainly seeking out those brands. And of course, the brands themselves would target those appropriate unbranded properties because it's a lot easier to, quote, bring those into the fold, mostly because it's quicker and faster. You're not wiping anything off in terms of a brand agreement, or you're not exchanging a brand agreement because there isn't one.
Right.
So those can happen a little bit faster. I think secondly, we're also seeing, kind of some conversions, heavy duty down in the economy, the mid-scale chain scales, as those brands bounce around and perhaps pick up where a property might have been let go due to the lack of renovation, or might have been let go due to financial trouble or something to that effect. Just thinking about this, saying it out loud, Craig, you look at all of the conversions that Sonesta is doing, where Marriott and IHG are going to lose those locations. Hyatt, too, has some of those locations. That opens up possibilities for conversions right there in many of those markets for brands that have not been available maybe in our professional lifetime. Many of those courtyards are some of the very first that were built in the 80s. And they're fine hotels, but they're no longer in the Marriott family. So, they may take other properties in the marketplace and bring those into their brands, and they will move on those quickly to restore those locations if they can be restored. And new construction is not unviable right now. It's just a little challenged on the financing side, and some raw material problems have arisen due to production problems. So, but we still also have some shipping problems for international arrivals to the ports on the West Coast. That still hasn't been abated yet. I'm not really sure when that will be abated. Maybe when the whole port's vaccinated and they can keep people on site and don't have exposure problems. I'm sure that's got to be some of it, but also just kind of getting that untangled a little bit coming out of the pandemic.
Yeah, and ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach have ships backed up into Orange County, way down into Huntington Beach, and we're seeing that. And on a past episode, I was talking to our friend Chris Janenke over at Simon's Industries, and they had launched a program to combat this, so that they've got a guaranteed stock in the nation, and they're filling orders within a few days, maybe 5 max.
Made in the USA is a real thing right now.
Yeah, very much so.
And companies that are able to do that, to keep the stock and to bring over more than necessarily is ordered. You thought differently before the pandemic than you do today. It's why warehousing is probably one of the only commercial real estate segments that's rivaling the recovery of hotels.
Exactly.
as a result of the decline of retail in a storefront location, whereas we're all buying things online and shipping them to ourselves, right?
There you go.
So,
hey, my friend, we are just about out of time. So you've got Tom Brady coming home.
I'm still mad at him. And I'm still mad at Gronk too, okay? But word is that game's going to be October 3rd in Boston. So if you have a few grand, maybe you can find your way in, because that's probably.
There we go.
I saw they had somebody on Boston Sports Radio today that said we're Ace Ticket CEO, which is the broker in New England, known broker in New England for tickets. He said that might have the highest demand of any sporting event in pro sports history.
Wow.
Because there's
That's amazing.
two things that might happen that day. Obviously, Tom Brady coming back because we never got to say goodbye because we didn't know he was leaving, okay, in the last game that he played at Gillette. But also, if he happens to beat the Patriots that day, he will be one of only 2 NFL quarterbacks that have beaten all 32 teams. Craig, do you know the answer to this trivia question?
I'm going to say it was Mr. Manning after he left Indianapolis, and really,
He just retired, Craig.
Just retired. God,
Number 9, Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. Wow. Okay.
As
Yeah,
you
I was going to go
recall,
with Brett Favre.
He played for the San Diego Superchargers,
Right.
and then New Orleans as well. Also had a little time with the Dolphins, if I recall correctly, too. But
that's right.
Craig, great to be with you, my friend. You can find us on Facebook at lodgingeconometrics.com. You can also visit our website, sign up for our news releases. We're happy to get those into your email. Here's to summer travel, Craig, and can't wait to come to California, my friend.
Absolutely, brother. And thank you for joining us today. And you can meet Mr. Ford at CLIC 5 live and in person on October 5th at the JW Marriott in beautiful Anaheim, California. We are going to be holding our event there, so please register at CLIconference.com. And also, thank you, our audience, for joining us today. And if you could, please take a moment, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, and ring the bell for updates. It would mean a lot to producer Danny and myself. And if you want to suggest any topics, any guests, DM us. We'd be glad to take a look at that. And as always, please be kind. Share your knowledge. Now go be amazing.